finding these albums to listen to. Like, the only place anywhere in Peoria was Co-op Takes and Records. They were the only one you could go to for alternative or deep dive type bands or artists. I'm trying to remember, what was that band called?
Striper.
See, you know what I was talking about. I just can't remember the one. Anyway, I remember listening to those albums and just going, I don't understand why this was the UK acting like this is such a big deal. Now I hear it and I'm just like, it's boring mostly. Like, I never really got into the Pixies. I didn't understand that. And Frank Black.
I always thought I would really like the Pixies, but I never really got to experience them very much. I think they were maybe a little bit older than me or something.
If you like Bon Jovi, you're gonna love the new album, because it's another Bon Jovi album. I think that's like Sonic Youth. If you like Sonic Youth already, this isn't gonna convert anybody.
Are we recording already?
We haven't done Ghost in the Machine? Oh, that's right, we did that. Yeah, we went with
Zenyatta
Mandata.
Zendaya.
I remember that episode.
Episode. It's happening. Dang.
757?
Cheers!
We're skipping ahead to 757.
Subscriber update. We lost one.
Oh!
Anyway, Ghost in the Machine.
Screw you!
It's probably that.
How's that even possible?
It's probably that Martinsheen guy from last week.
Right.
Well, in honor of that, we're doing Ghost in the Machine.
We got ghosted. Well,
Ghost
cheers,
in the
we're not
Machine.
dead yet.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Chink.
Clink.
Yeah, Ghost in the Machine, in honor of the fact that we're all going to be dead very soon.
So this is like on the top 5 of things we've probably already talked about. I could probably compile an episode just of like subtopics sub conversations we've done in other episodes. But we're doing it for real this time. Welcome to Talking Over Albums. I'm Brett Warren in the Canoes Lounge. Alright. So Ghost in the Machine is one that I've wanted to do for a long time. I think it's the one I'm most baffled about. I love it. Ghost in the Machine and Zenyatta Mandata are both they both feel tossed together in a lot of ways, but the band was still so good that it's good. But especially on Ghost in the Machine, there's like a whole chunk in the middle where you can just tell they were like, here's a riff. Very repetitive songs that are built around a riff.
Right.
It's like the big chunk in the middle. So you have like 2 or 3 singles at the beginning and then some like odd stuff at the end and then 1 or 2 actual other songs sprinkled out about. But it's mostly just like filler the album. But it's one of my favorite albums ever. And it's also when Sting got bored and started putting horns on stuff. So this one has like...
I do like when he puts a little bit more instrumentation into his stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to be interested to listen to this because this was the first Police album I heard all the way through, I believe. My dad had it. He liked it. And so I heard that, whenever he listened to anything, he liked to listen to the entire album. So I'm kind of interested because I don't remember it, but I remember... I heard it.
Yeah, so you're familiar with it, but you don't...
Because every once in a while, one of the hits comes up, and you're just like, oh.
Even though this is, in my mind, very much a filler album...
Do we need the filler back?
It still has like an overall sense to it. It's like a very dark, murky album. Like all the earlier Police albums, there's very much like big song differential. Like even though their singles are always pretty heavy and kind of darker or more atmospheric... There's still like some playfulness to it. This album is pretty murky, so we're gonna just see how this goes. Because I haven't listened to this in a while.
Did you get new shoes?
Here's Spirits in the Materia Well.
For no reason at all, Sammy Hagar was called the Red Rocker.
Because he's a ginger. That's not a ginger.
He's one of those blonde gingers.
He's the blonde ginger.
Like Marg Helgenberger. She's blonde.
Yeah. I feel like we're getting more synth sound than earlier albums, don't you think? It feels good to the ear. I have no problem with it.
I think it's just the song has it's still a reggae beat, tempo, rhythm.
Right.
but like I think there's not really an definable spot for a guitar part. So like you can kind of hear Andy sort of chugging out little snippets here and there, but I think they had to just fill in the sound with that string synth, which gives the song a really specific airy quality to it. That's all the other elements in the song are, sounds like the Police.
Do you notice, like, being on the other side of this album now, like, you can look back and say, oh, this song it has that Police reggae type thing, but you hear the Sting coming in and taking over everything. That by, what's the next album after that? We've done it?
Synchricity Mondicity?
Yeah. Yeah, if you do the Synchronicity after this one, then you realize, wow, it just keeps getting more and more Sting, like he's overruling everybody.
Yeah, because you can tell when it's an ensemble Police song versus where Sting very much likes...
Okay, that's the end of Spirit.
Sting likes the streamlined, ethereal.
Are there words to that song besides "We Are Spirits in the Material World"?
Yeah. Where does the answer lie?
Live from day to day.
When we live from day to day.
Because I get wrapped up in the synth and the bass, and then I'm lost.
There must be another way.
Between my favorite...
I like this song.
Yeah, it's in my top 5 favorite songs of all time.
Sounds.
Every little thing she does is magic.
Alright,
the groove in the song is just so perfect.
What's that called? Is it echo or is it reverb? What's that called? I like that sound.
You mean on the drums?
I think it's done everything there. Not now, but like...
At that big pause there? It's not really a pause?
Well, the drum thing that's Stewart actually playing it on the hi-hats.
Like everything has a little echo to it.
Yeah, like
the melody does, the percussion does. Everything has like a little, like
an eighth of a beat behind.
Like what do they do?
Everything's doing this along with the basic beat.
Every little thing she does is magic.
Yeah, it's the most perfectly produced song in the history of the world, other than David Essex Rock On, which is the most perfectly produced song in history.
Yeah, like the backup singer.
I love this
track.
To call her up
comes
1,000 times a day
behind.
And ask her if she'll marry me some old-fashioned way. That's so Sting. Now that you've heard a million albums of him by himself, where he can self-indulge, you totally can pick out all the Sting parts. No, he did that. That was his idea.
Something I always found really strange is somebody who started off with just the radio hits and that Greatest Hits album. They were like a really sad band. Like their singles were all very like melancholy and sad. Like we just listened to the Greatest Hits.
Oh, it's like, all dirge.
Yeah, for like a band that had so much punk energy and was like live was really exciting. Like most of the singles were just very kind of, dreary.
I think they stole that reggae. They took it to that point, right? Where it's like you can have sad lyrics, like the theme of the song is sad, but the music is upbeat as kind of a counterpoint.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like
it's a thing that pops up in pop music all the time, right? Over and over again.
It's like the trio of singles that starts off this album are all pretty dark. Because like the next one is Invisible Sun.
Yeah, and this is the part where I like Sting, where he makes me come back to him over and over again, where he plays his voice like an instrument, the words don't matter. It's
right.
Like,
what the hell is EO?
Sometimes like
oh yeah, like there's nothing profound about really any Police lyrics, but it's like how he sings it. Like he can take. I think a lot of the time he just straight up wouldn't sing anything that Stuart Copeland wrote.
He's like
but
improvisational.
The few that he did, because like Stuart Copeland's a horrible lyricist. I love him, but like he makes it work just through emoting and.
Yeah, I think if you read Sting's lyrics, you wouldn't be as impressed as when you hear it performed. like his idea of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he put out this book of just his lyrics as like poetry. And
Oh Jesus!
like the later stuff, sure, but like there's police stuff in there, and it's just like, what's the point?
Well, yeah, he had to get.
I wouldn't go that far.
He had to get more lyric driven when he went solo because all the music got quieter and like more lyric focused
and more arranged. There's lots of arrangement involved, so maybe he has something to do with that. But it sounds like somebody else does a lot of times.
Right. Well, I mean, compare that first song, the Ghost. What is it called?
Spirits in the Material World.
Spirits in the Material World. Compare that to anything on the Blue Turtles album. They're just like, you could barely even make out lyrics on the one because they're focusing so much on the trance. And
this is what I was just saying in the last song. This is a great example of how he uses his voice as an instrument instead of it's more about what it sounds like than what he's actually saying.
I think this might be the most unpolice-like police song. This is sort of verging into U2 territory on this one. I mean, I've always liked the song. It's just...
Well, it was about the same time as Unforgettable
so
Fire. I could see that.
I mean, like, it's so airy.
They're going after that trance again.
Yeah, he's not a Bob Dylan type lyricist. He's a emotion sound, like
some kind of cross between...
He likes it to sound like
metaphor versus... And REM somehow comes to mind because they're not direct. They're not just writing sentences that describe a thing.
Yeah, and that weird rock turned into reggae thing. It's still here, kind of. There's a little tiny bit of it there, but it becomes more atmospheric. This is where like that coffee shop. Oh,
yeah, but this is what's so like. This is what's so fascinating about this album. It's so weirdly it's not really a sandwich. It's just like you have the next 1, 2, 3, 4. The next 5 songs are like this weird meat in between this depressing album. Where it's like, oh crap, this album's too much of a downer. Like we just have to.
We better do something.
Like we have to come up with some.
Somebody write a happy song, quick!
Yeah. So they sandwiched in between.
They woke up one day and said, dude, we have to play these live. At some point, we have to take them back up again.
Oh,
we
yeah.
can't just be a total Debbie Downer the whole time.
Yeah, all the singles...
That's a terrible concert.
Yeah, all the singles from this, they speed up to like 200% live. I mean, they always played everything super fast live, but like these were just completely different live for the most part.
That's smart.
Yeah, Sting was doing a lot of reading around this time. I don't know what the theme is other than detachment. I don't know if it's supposed to be like what's that Wish You Were Here type of thing. Like
what's the next song? What's this one?
Here's Hungry is it Hungry for You or yeah, here's where just the jamming begins. There's Hungry for You, their song that's all in French except for the phrase Hungry for You.
I was sick last week and I did a deep dive. It was like reading articles and stuff just because that's all I could do. And one of the things I was reading what people's opinions on Van Halen albums. And this is the same time period when all that stuff was happening. And it's really funny how like I listen to these live things and people have this memory of it. But I'm watching the video of it and I'm going, wow, they were just hitting the high part, like the important parts of songs. They weren't really playing the songs. It was very strange. And when you were talking about the Police, how they perform live and they just decided to speed everything up to keep the energy. Everybody excited. And like Van Halen, they were just like, it's so loud in here. We're just play the main parts. Nobody else can hear anything else. It's really funny. Listen to it like from the soundboard. How Eddie was barely playing anything on guitar live until his solos. That's all they were waiting for. It's just, you know what? Skip that. Just go to the parts they're paying for.
Yeah, I think that's called the Beatles effect. I think when it got so bad with the crowd noise, I think I think Ringo is just hitting the snare drum to keep time, basically.
Yeah, I think there's something to that. You get that popular or whatever, it's...
So do you get how I'm saying filler? But it has a hypnotic quality to it. And they're all really good at what they do, so it's still... Like, it's repetitive.
I forgot we were listening to something. I thought we were just talking.
Yeah, this doesn't really sound like anything.
This is background music.
But this doesn't sound like they ever made this to be played live anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I know for sure the next... I don't know. I know they've played every...
The lyrics are all French. They probably did it live in France.
The only songs I'm not sure of that... Oh, wait, yeah. They never played Darkness, Secret Journey, Rehumanize Yourself. It's just those. Hungry for Ears. Demolition Man is a personal favorite. No, that's not what I'm thinking of. I like Demolition Man.
No. There's a commercial for
I get it confused.
boner pills.
I get it confused with Omega Man, which is one of my favorite Police songs. Oh, we have to give a shout out to Karaoke John from Lunkers.
Hey, Karaoke John.
He's one of the few people who actually comments.
Oh. Thanks,
great.
Karaoke John.
He's an excellent singer. He loves Run to the Hills. Iron Maiden. And he sounds a lot like Bruce Dickinson.
Wow.
When he sings.
When he talks, he sounds like something completely different.
I'm pretty sure I sound a lot like Aretha Franklin. Everybody says so.
Yeah, if I've had enough to drink, I think I'm Frank Sinatra, but I'm not. And I know it. It's fine. I got a face for radio. No, it was really funny that that thing from earlier, the Van Halen thing, I thought it was weird and kind of tied in. It was just like, yeah, now I'm like really interested to go back to some of these videos from bands in the 70s and like even like the ones that are really like instrument centric, like the prog rock bands and things like that. I want to hear them live now, and I want to hear that just to like, you know, were they going out and just doing what the basics, you know what I mean? Just strip this song down to the basic thing because you can't hear the rest of it anyway. You know?
Okay, remind me what this one's called?
Demolition Man.
Oh, okay.
It's another song that was just Sting. Like, here's a bass riff. And they built a song around it. But it's still awesome. I think Sting did it with a few songs where he ended up re-recording like basically a different, just completely revamping the song for solo career. I don't know if it was for the movie Demolition Man, but yeah, he...
Copeland is the drummer, right? I guess I can just look
that up.
God damn. Love the drums.
Demolition Man. Was it on the Demolition Man soundtrack? Yes, it was.
I love how everything Police sounds reggae except for the drums is like a jazz drummer in the background going, oh yeah, I'll play with you guys. It's like, and he's just doing all kinds of crazy shit in the background.
Yeah, like Stuart Copeland's drumming like releases a very specific chemical in my brain that I just fucking love. You just have the basic points within the song, like rhythmically or tempo wise. You know, like he's on autopilot, just playing the basic 1, 2, 1. But he's doing like all of this stuff in between.
Oh yeah,
just amazing little details to fill in the boring gaps.
Yeah, I love. Cool. I think that's what great artists are. Like Randy Rhodes from Ozzy Osbourne. I was showing Chris one time where when you listen to him playing, when they just let him do whatever the hell he wanted, it was just like there's notes between the notes between the notes. There's like shit going on everywhere, and it's just like, what? If you sit down and listen to it, crazy stuff is happening, and that's how I think about Copeland. Is like he's in the background doing all this improv. He's like, I can fit 12 more tempos in here if you want. Like, we can have many different things going on here.
Has anyone ever thought of making a like shoes that are like dogs' pads. Called like doggy feet shoes.
Like kitten mittens?
Imitate the
Yeah.
imitate the pads on their feet. I think I have that already. Came naturally.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Dog paw.
have you ever seen the movie Demolition Man?
I don't believe I have.
I don't know what it is.
It's Wesley Snipes and Stallone. It's
I thought
like
that was Judge Dredd.
it's basically the same thing. Whatever. It's the future where everything is clean and perfect, and then Wesley Snipes gets like unfrozen, and so they have
Unfrozen caveman.
so they have to unfreeze Stallone. He's like, I don't understand all your manners, and it's the one with the clams where he's like, what are the clams for in the bathroom?
I don't know if I've ever seen that.
Yeah, it's Sandra Bullock where they have sex like through a cable. I don't know. They like put on it's like VR sex.
That's what I call it, a cable.
And he's like, why don't you just do it the old-fashioned way? He's like,
Come on, baby.
He wants to have real sex.
That sounds vaguely familiar, but I think I've seen that in numerous. Now you're going back to Logan's Run. Dial up a sex.
Did you say run?
Yeah, I did say run.
Did you say it again?
I didn't say walk.
yeah, here's where it starts to drift into legitimate filler instead of intriguing filler.
This song is filler, but it's one of the better fillers that we've heard from the Police. I think.
Yeah, I don't dislike anything on this album. I mean, I don't not enjoy anything on this album.
It sounds like they kind of get tired of it at the end, and artistically, it stopped like a minute ago. Like
they forgot to fade out.
Yeah, they just forgot to fade out. Or somebody said, "Oh no, it needs to be 30 seconds longer. It's not a song."
Yeah. Hold on, now it's an album. Good.
There you go. Every song needs 30 more seconds, and then we have an album-length album.
Too much information. Another filler song. It's the trio O filler. And then it starts to get into actual songs again.
Cool.
So I kind of like it as like a weird mid-album break.
I kind of like how it's a different setup than the usual pop album, where it's like you have your declarative song at the beginning, and then the single, and then the second single, and then it kind of they all kind of die in the middle of the album, and then they pick back up again towards the end. I've never understood why they bothered with that, because the one album-oriented setup that I liked was how Aerosmith, Toys in the Attic. That was the first time I noticed an album where it started out exciting, and then it got calm in the middle, and then it started up immediately on the second side. It got exciting again, and then calmed down as it went. Yeah. It's like they went with a different style.
Well, this is the first one we've done where they didn't just cram these at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
I like this song.
Like usually albums kind of fade.
I have too much information.
Oh, I thought of another one, In Excess Kick. That's another one that goes, great songs are all at the front, and it kind of dies out as you go, kind of thing. It's like, if you had to rank them, they ranked them. They knew what you were going to like the most.
These are going to be singles, and these are going to fill out the rest of the album.
Right. It's like, we're on CDs now.
People are going to like this, but it's not going to go anywhere.
All veils are misty, streets are blue. Yeah, I remember right about the time you get into Kick. Sometimes you kick, sometimes you get kicked. It was just like, okay, we're kind of done here. Time for the new CD.
We're never doing INXS.
Okay.
Ever.
I don't care.
We're going to do an all Red Hot Chili Peppers and In Excess. And we're going to do them without you.
I like both of those.
But we're going to need your computer and your microphone and, all the tools. And you're going to have to teach us how.
I'll just come over and I'll watch TV downstairs. And
Oh, Ziggy would dig that so much.
He would not. That would be people in different places.
Yeah, but he would make a choice, and it would be easy. He'd be like, oh, I'm going to lay with the new guy. You're my home now. What you want?
Wow, this gets kind of droney, doesn't it? This song kind of goes... Okay, this song can be over now.
Yeah.
I think that's what's cool about it is it's technically upbeat and it's fun, but it still has like a meditative quality to it. You know, bit hypnotic kind of. Here's Rehumanize Yourself.
Somebody wrote this. They wrote this for a soundtrack and it didn't get on. It didn't make it.
They say the word cunt in here, and outside of early punk music, I've never heard the word cunt or an Ani DeFranco song. So it's either punk or...
Wasn't gonna say
it. Mainstream pop album.
Sometimes somebody's just really being a cunt.
I like the way the music sounds...
The lyric
but I'm completely not caring about the lyrics.
They're behind everything.
The music is
The lyric is he
forefront.
Something about the National Front. He always was a little runt. He's got his hand in the air with the other cunts.
Oh, that's just a British thing. This
reminds me of all those songs. Remember when there would be soundtracks that got to be a big deal in the late 80s? The soundtrack to this movie! And it would always be some throwaway song from that band that you've never heard of. Yeah. Or one that was a hit and it's nobody wants to hear it again.
Good news, I got a new pillow and it's the softest thing ever. I went to Bed Bath & Beyond. Actually, I went scouting all over for pillows and just grabbing them.
Massaging them.
Yeah, this one is so soft.
No.
Because typically, let's talk about pillows.
See, I like a nice hard pillow myself. I really do. I need the firmness.
Yeah.
I have a side sleeper pillow and
something that kind of bites
it back. Shrinks overnight. I have to change positions every once in a while because I'll wake up and I'm I'm touching the bed. It shrinks slowly. That what's it called? That foam?
Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff shrinks over the course of the night, and then I have to turn over and sleep on the other half of that pillow and let it shrink down.
Okay, so tell me about your pillow.
It was one of Joanna's friends gave us one of those memory foam pillows. Those things are horrible. It's great. I still feel like I'm just laying on the floor. It's just my head is slightly dented down.
My neck is supported, but my head is not.
Yeah, this pillow feels like a cloud. It's beautiful. For me, it's okay, you have hotel pillows. They're super poofy,
but there's nothing in there. I hate that.
There has to be space. The pillow needs to be malleable. A bit clumpy. Because you basically just press down on it. It's still just gonna feel you're... Why am I talking about pillows? Anyway, it's a nice pillow.
You know how much I love my Hamptonality. I love my Hampton Inn, but the pillows need work. I personally, just by myself, need 6 of them.
Don't you ever question the Hamptonality?
I love my Hamptonality.
2 inches of firmness, so I could sleep on my side and my head was above my shoulder, kind of. Mm-hmm.
I felt one of those...
still had some airflow to it because I get hot. And that's all I care about that.
I was pawing one of those pillows. It feels... It's just chunks of memory foam in
Yeah, that man's a crazy person and you can't get to
It felt maybe it'd be nice to sleep on, but
It feels that one looked like you'd have to keep changing, getting up and fixing it all the time. Because it's going to eventually undo itself, how you want it. And...
Oh, music.
It's one world, not 3.
I feel there's some psychology to that, okay? That pillow. There's something about, you've seen so many commercials about it. I think there's a certain person that thinks because of that in their head they get it, that it's a great product.
It's so successful. I've heard about it all the time for so long. So basically it's a pyramid scheme.
So he buys a bunch of garbage fiber fill or whatever, puts it in a pillow and says it's something different. Yeah, it's different, all right. It's these guys' leftovers.
I guarantee you pillow. I'm editing this out. He's not getting any free publicity. Fat bastard.
He's never going to be a listener.
Here's the police making a very vague political statement.
Is it a political world?
We're a rich band. There is no third world. Just don't make us live there. I never thought I would think so much about pillows, but, you know. I guess the blood is just like pools in my head a weird way now or something.
There's a level of what's that? The Maslow's hierarchy of needs thing. You've gotten to the pillow level. I don't know which one that is. If it's close to the bottom or close to the top, I have no idea. But
I think it's just
pillow level.
I think it's just because Joanna had like this thick ass memory foam mattress that was crippling my back. And once we got a different mattress, then my hierarchy of needs went to pillows.
Yep. You've reached pillow.
Like I no longer.
Oh my god! You gave me a big flashback.
I no longer have to cane myself out of bed.
When I first met him, he had a waterbed.
Ooh.
It was okay. It was fine. Except that in the wintertime, it was not a heated waterbed.
Sorry, filler bell time.
That's all right. We're going to talk about weird waterbed memories now.
Not for you, for the...
No, she's filler. She'll fill it up.
I'm filling. I'm very filling. I have had a half a glass of wine.
Damn it. I wish I had on a soundboard. There's the one Police song where there's the hook in it. It's like, fill it up. Fill it up.
Okay, wait. But my point is, this waterbed was so cold. For like 6 months, I had hip problems. And I kept going, dude, you need a heater for this thing.
And I was loving it. I'm like, it's like sleeping in an igloo. I love this. Oh,
God, my hips were hurting so bad for a week. I was like, I'm a young woman. I should not have hip problems. And then I
had to go out and buy a waterbed heater for her.
It was like $24.
That's a commitment. No, that was a commitment.
It was for your health.
That was a commitment.
Because I was going to kill you.
Our love. I bought a heater for my waterbed. I thought it was fine.
Oh, I'm feeling it right now. I was in so much pain then. My hips hurt all the time like a little lady.
You never really made it clear to me until like
I was trying to be nice.
Until it was like line drawing time.
I can't take it anymore.
Okay, we're back to like the
You started telling me where I could buy a heater for my waterbed.
I remember I was doing my free internship in Decatur, and I think I tried to buy one in the Decatur Walmart.
So Omega Man. This is the bottom bread of the sandwich that is this album. I think this is a super underrated Police song. I don't know how this wasn't a hit. It's a great song.
Probably because of the name. It just sounds like a Charlton Heston movie.
I already forgot. What's the name?
Omega Man.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Demolition Man, Omega Man. Did they have a thing going?
Omega Man. Well, I don't know. Sting was
the
reading
English people
like
pronounce it Aluminium Man.
Aluminium.
Like
this in Synchricity. I don't know. I guess the Sting or the band as a whole were getting into like the philosophical readings. So the Ghost in the Machine.
We call it Omega Man. They call it Aluminium Man.
I don't know, like sentience and electronics.
This doesn't feel bad. It feels good on the ear. I like it.
Feels good on the ear, like my pillow. Not my pillow, but
my pillow. I eventually just went out to a garbage can and picked a bunch of shit up. Put it in a bag.
You're gonna like my pillow. I guarantee it.
You're gonna like my pillow. Just snort a line of coke and lay down.
This song is rockin'. This whole album, not the whole album. A large portion of this album makes me want to kind of get up and bounce.
The only downside of this song is...
Like the old woman that I am.
It does sound so much like so many other Police songs. Like it's a lot of Like,
right, it would be hard to differentiate this
all the
from
if
Synchronicity.
you made a police song into 10 pieces, this has 8 or 9 of them. There's nothing terribly original about it.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
for the police.
right.
yeah, I mean, I guess this is kind of the prototype for the song Synchronicity 2.
I feel
They're pretty
like
similar.
I can kind of hear.
this
Don't
is
Stand
just
So
their
Close to Me.
this is their bread and butter song. This is like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, this one just came together like nothing.
Well, this is
like
the police fans are gonna love it. They're gonna be into it, and it's not gonna,
yeah.
I love the closing of this album. It's 3 just super good, underrated police songs. Next is Secret Journey, which is, I always thought it was a Andy Summer song, but I guess Sting wrote it. I don't know why. I don't know why I always thought it was Andy, but
Wishful thinking.
because like the lyrical cadence of it doesn't really sound like
It
something
has
Sting would write.
Generic synthesizer opening. I don't mean that in a bad way. There were so many songs that started this way in the 80s.
I think it's that guitar synth where it's like you have your guitar plugged into some kind of modeling thing, and like you strum it, and it just creates a swell. Like I have a really version of it on my guitar pedal board. It doesn't sound anywhere near that good, but I think that's what he was using.
Now I want to go back and listen to Synchronicity again. Are they using that echo thing or reverb thing? I don't know what it's called. But there's like this whole, like, everything you hit something is like, tack, 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 bong, 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 bong. Like,
I just want to put an echo on everything we say now.
it's something they fall back on a lot, apparently, on the police albums because it's very familiar sounding to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just don't
Darkness.
remember what it's called.
This is a Stuart Copeland song. You can tell by the really choppy, off-kilter lyrics about waking up.
Trill, that's what I'm thinking of.
About waking up in a dark
Trill.
room.
Ooh, they
Never woke up this morning.
This is kind of cool in headphones
Easy.
because it's kind of like the tempos like
It's
in
going
different ears.
From one
Yeah.
side to the other, it's kind of flowing.
Yeah, with like the piano on one side and the hi-hat tinkles
And
on the
the-
other. It kind of goes back and forth.
I feel like the synth is going from one ear to the other and fading back periodically.
It's not so on the nose as like 70s when they were trying to play with stereo and it was so you know
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
it's subtle.
Or like the earlier albums are like inviting in the audience, like please, like come on, this is f***ing cool.
Come jump around and dance.
Like get on board. This one is like actively kind of keeping the audience at a distance. It feels like it's just very insulated and ethereal and murky, and for me it's definitely more of an alone album. It's not a good group listening album.
I lied.
Well, we always like, you always tease me about how I like context because it gives me a feeling of like why this is happening, and this is before Synchronicity, so it's kind of like I'm listening to it going, ooh, I feel where it's going, you know? It's like, now I can look back on it. I'm not, I couldn't have listened to it at the time and known where it was going, but I can listen to it now and go, hey, that's cool. This is where it's going.
I have a correction. I said trill. That is incorrect. Grace note is what I was talking about.
Mm.
For all the music files that are listening to us.
Is that where you just say grace after everything?
No, it's you move into the other note. You start one.
Grace.
The boot part is
Grace.
not really the point of the thing.
Mea culpa.
The second one, the boot,
Grace.
that's the real part. So it's
This
like,
is not a
boop.
music podcast.
I was trying to have a contribution.
Solid B.
Screw you, man.
I just don't want to be incorrect. The comments on the internet are just going to go crazy about my incorrect notation.
Me.
I feel like I've said
Grace
before,
note as a trill.
Synchronicity is my favorite Police album just because it's kind of like the acme, the pinnacle of what they were going for. And it's funny that they just imploded after that. And
They finally got it right, and then they died.
This album, to me, it just seems like, yep, this was the next logical step. It could only end in that synchronicity.
I like this a lot. There's several songs on here that I did know, and the ones I didn't know I liked for the most part.
Yeah, for this,
it wasn't
B,
so much filler.
When I'm alone listening to it, a B+. I would definitely put My Ghost in That Machine.
Yeah.
Beautiful album.
It's good. It's one of the better ones we've listened to.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Police keeps doing. The Police keep doing that.
It's a very solid Police album.
They. I think the Police keep doing that to us, though. We've listened to a couple of them, and it's like, well, they're all put together well.
Right. Somebody will go, let's play this one because it's terrible, and then we listen to it, we're like, it's not terrible.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell? Hey, Police, sponsor us.
Yeah, it definitely felt like the calm before the storm of Synchronicity. Then they became the biggest band in the world. Ghost in the Machine felt like, okay, here's like our little time. We're insulated in the studio. We're just like an introspective little moment.
Right. They took a break before they did this album too, so it kind of makes sense.
Okay, everyone give your ratings.
Yeah, solid B.
Steve.
I'm going, yeah. I mean, especially, like I said, with hindsight, it's like, it's really high up there for me.
Yeah.
Because I see where it's going. B is a good...
That's a good score. We get a lot of C's and D's here if we were to stick to a 5-note.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for listening, John.